Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is in session. The court is in session. It's jail review docket. First case is cause number, the first two cases are cause numbers 24-CCCR 1000 and cause number 24-CCCR 1448. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Caesar Israel Ikoy Lobos. And Mr. Lobos speaks Spanish. We have Ms. Jennifer Raji, who is our interpreter. Mr. Raji, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Raji, do you swear or affirm to interpret Spanish to English and English to Spanish to help you out?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Raji, you may put your head down. How are you doing, Mr. Raji?
Good, thank you, Judge. And yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Raji, please ask Mr. Caesar Israel Ikoy Lobos if that is his full name.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Ask Mr. Lobos to raise his right hand. Mr. Lobos, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you may put your head down. How are you doing, Mr. Lobos?
Good.
Good. Now, Mr. Ikoy Lobos, I have before me a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
So puedes hacer lo que necesite más. Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Y su firma completo ahí. Yes, Judge.
Or these your initials on the line that states you'd like to hire your own attorney?
Y también pusiste sus iniciales ahí diciendo que quieren sacar a su abogado. Yes, Judge.
Mr. Lobos, before you initialed and signed this document, did Mr. Raji go over this document with you in Spanish?
Firmar que no sus iniciales ahí, no sé lo que necesite. Si te explico lo que estabas firmando en español. Sí. Yes, Judge.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Raji went over?
Y sí entendí que lo que firmé. Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Lobos, your case is going to be reset. The court coordinator is going to reset your case. Your cases, once your cases are reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Y cuando se termina dando toda la información, que tengan que decir.
Okay,
Okay, I'm clear.
all right. And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Raji.
Thank you, Judge. Oh.
Dutchess County Court, Outlaw number 2 is in session. The court is in session. The cause number 23 CCCR 2284. Case is Styles of State of Texas versus Jermaine Paul Beverly. Mr. Beverly, is that your full name?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Beverly, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Beverly, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Beverly, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Beverly? That's good. Mr. Beverly, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Marva Provo. Attorney Provo, how are you doing? And Ms. Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Beverly's case?
Yeah.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Do well, Judge, and yourself.
Doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Beverly, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet alleges that you, Jermaine Paul Beverly, on or about January 12th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. Mr. Beverly, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Beverly, how do you plead? Guilty,
Yes.
not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Beverly, I also have before me on this tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, JB, on the line next to a box that's checked guilty. Would you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked.
Mhm.
First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes.
Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Beverly, before you signed and initial all these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Ms. Provo, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that she went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct and to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Beverly, are you a citizen of the United States?
CO for stage 1.
Any objections?
No.
No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you've advised and counseled Mr. Beverly. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
And Mr. Beverly, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes. Sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Beverly, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement's 180 days time served, court cost tax and retired.
Mr. Beverly, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court costs in this case, Mr. Beverly, will be taxed and retired. And what that means is you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Beverly, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Mr. Beverly, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Beverly, you're gonna stand next to the bailiff, follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to follow me. Now, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today.
Yes, sir.
And you have a blessed day.
I
Kenneth Eaglin, this is cause number 24 CCCR 1156. Case and style of state of Texas versus Kenneth Ray Eaglin. Mr. Eaglin, is that your full name? Mr. Eaglin, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Eaglin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Eaglin, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Eaglin?
How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Eaglin. You're representing your case is by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Eaglin's cases?
Yes, we do.
Mr. Eaglin, I have before me a document in cause number 24 CCCR 1156. This document is on my computer and it is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Kenny Ray Eaglin, on or about April 18th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Eaglin, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir, I do.
And to this charge, Mr. Eaglin, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Freely.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
I'm guilty.
Okay, Mr. Eaglin, I also have before me a document on this tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials KRE on the line next to the box is check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, I did.
On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, I did.
And on the next document, that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document.
Yes, I do.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, I did.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have the right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
I do.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
I do.
I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Eaglin, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Ms. Provo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, I did.
And did you read and understand everything that Ms. Provo went over?
Yes, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Eaglin, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir, I am.
State,
For stage one.
any objections? No objections, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you advised and counseled Mr. Eaglin. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Eaglin, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, I am.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Eaglin, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reason without state. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 20 days jail with credit for 13 days. In addition, for this plea, the state has submitted a dismissal in case number 24 CCCR 1831.
Okay. Mr. Eaglin, the state is offering that you serve 20 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 13 days that you have already served. What is this court cost?
$277.
Mr. Eaglin, the court cost in this case is $277. Will you be able to pay the $277 court cost?
Consider it out.
Okay, well, okay, you don't have them, but that's okay. Now, Mr. Eaglin, I have before me a document that is titled, Affidavit of Indigence. Ms. Provo, could you show that to your client? Now, I might need a pen. I see, on that, do you recognize the document?
So,
Now, on that document where it asks for your, monthly income, all of the lines were blank. Would you, are you employed?
no, I'm not.
Okay, so you can put a 0 right there.
Yeah, top.
Yeah, do you receive any type of governmental benefits?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, as far as expenses, you have any expenses?
No, I don't.
Okay, so he needs to put 0 on the side about it, that asks for expenses. Okay, now, Mr. Eaglin, is everything on that document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
So it is.
Okay, now, Mr. Eaglin, the court is gonna find that you are indigent. And based on the finding of indigency, the court cost of $277 in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And when I say waive, that means you won't have to pay it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Mr. Eaglin, do you understand the state's offer?
So I do.
You think, and the findings that the court has made in reference to you being indigent? I mean, do you understand it?
Yeah, I do.
And do you think it's fair and just?
Yes, bro.
And do you accept it?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Eaglin, and I'll follow the plea bargain agreement with the court's findings in this case, and the state also in this case will be dismissing cause number 24CC Sierra 1813. That's the companion case. And I'll be signing the dismissal in that case. Okay, so Mr. Eaglin, this will conclude your case, your cases. You're gonna stand next to the bailiff right here in front of a court coordinator. And you're gonna follow the bailiff's directions. Once you finish following the bailiff's directions,
You know.
you'll be free to follow the bailiff.
Got next slide?
Hold on, let me see this.
Leave it, William Miller.
Yeah, William Miller. Uh-oh, I'm gonna need this, the battery's running out on this thing. Yes, yeah. It didn't charge it. Yes.
I've got it back up for you.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Wayne, how are you?
Let me shut this down. Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, he had one for me. You could put this in there and charge it up. This is cause number 24CC CR 1904. Case is style the state of Texas versus William Miller. Mr. Miller, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Miller, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Miller, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Sure.
Mr. Miller, how are you doing?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Miller, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Marva Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Miller's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Miller, it alleges that you, William Miller, on or about June 29th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Miller, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Sure, yeah.
And to this charge, Mr. Miller, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Whichever would be easiest for you.
I can't make that decision for
Well,
you. You have to
okay,
make it for yourself.
What is the best one?
I can't give you any legal advice. That's why you have the attorney
Well,
right there.
No contest.
No contest, okay. Now, Mr. Miller, are you pleading no? Okay, I have some paperwork here. Let me do this here. Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Would you show that to your client? And he, on that paperwork, he pled, so if that is his signature, he pled guilty.
Is this your signature? No, look, is this your signature?
I'm not sure. I suppose it might be. I don't really know. Suppose.
Okay, well, he can, let's do this here.
You are fine.
Yeah, is that his signature or initials on that page?
Is this your initial?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, now, Mr. Miller, on that, if those are your initials, apparently you went over this document
Yes.
with him yesterday?
Mhm.
And yesterday, those documents that I'm going over, it states that you were entering a plea of guilty. That's what are you entering a plea of guilty?
Sure, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
I don't think I did anything wrong. I might have fallen down or something, so I mean, that's fine. I
Well,
just fell down.
No, let me do this here,
So,
Mr. No, Mr. Miller. Anytime a person is charged with a crime, if they plead guilty, what is wrong with this thing? Oh, it's look at this.
Oh, let's find out.
Oh, it just went out.
Oh. It looks like it's trying to pull up on a webpage.
Okay. Now, Mr. Miller, anytime that a person is charged with an offense, if they enter a plea of guilty, the plea must be freely and voluntarily.
okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I'm fine.
And
Okay.
so the person has to also be aware of what they pleaded guilty to. Do you understand what you've been charged with? Criminal trespass.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Okay. And you stated that you're entering a plea of guilty. Are you entering a plea of guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you entering a plea of guilty because you are guilty?
That's just my plea.
That's what guilty means. When you enter a plea of guilty, you're telling the court that you committed the offense that you have been charged with. And if you enter a plea, listen to me. If you enter a plea of no contest, you're telling the court that you would not be fighting or you would not be contesting the charges.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's fine.
So you want to enter a plea of no contest or guilty?
Guilty be fine.
Okay. Now, Mr. Miller, I have
Yep.
before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. You want to show this document
Yes, Your Honor.
to your client? Mr. Miller, your attorney is showing you a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize that document?
No, I have no idea what that is. I don't really recognize it, but you know, I.
No,
know
no,
I'm
no, no,
trying
let's-
to real
okay.
hard.
Okay, show him his signature
I
and
don't need to
in
know
his
this
initials.
You remember well this document, and this is the signature, and then the initials. You told me that was your initial.
Yeah, okay, my initials, why sure, okay.
You remember going over this document?
Yeah,
And
sure.
signing this document.
I don't really sign stuff real good. I just signed it.
Okay, okay.
I
Let's
really
do
don't
this
know
here.
what you mean by all that.
Okay, Mr. Miller, we're gonna just follow the bailiff
Yeah,
right
okay.
there. And yeah, just follow the bailiff. Follow the bailiff.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What?
You're
I
fine.
get 14 days or
Well,
whatever?
just
Yeah,
just
we're gonna do the work for you.
All right,
just
thanks, fellas. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna send this document back to you.
You want to go with him again?
Well, yeah, later on. Let me go to the next person.
Okay.
Jordan Nevo.
Evo. Hi, Mr. Brown.
You want me to move on? Mhm.
This is cause number 24 CCCR 1930. And the case is styled the state of Texas versus Jordan Vaughn Nevo. Mr. Nevo, is that your full name? Mr. Nevo, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Nevo, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Nevo, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Nevo? That's good. Mr. Nevo, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Marva Provo. Mr. Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Nevo's case?
Yes, we do.
Mr. Nevo, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Nevo, it alleges that you, Jordan Vaughn Nevo, on or about July 5th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass to habitation. Mr. Nevo, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Nevo, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Nevo, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, JN, on a line next to a box that says guilty. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, that's titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. Nevo, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Ms. Provo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that Ms. Provo went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nevo, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
CR for six one.
Any objections?
No,
No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provost, you advised and counsel Mr. Nebo, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
no.
And Mr. Nebo, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nebo, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For this plea, the state has offered 45 days jail with credit for 12 days in this case.
And what does this court cost?
77.
Mr. Nebo, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 12 days that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $277. Will you be able to pay the $277 court cost? Okay, so you will not be able to pay the $277 court cost. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Nebo, I will have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of that same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Top right-hand corner, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Nebo, before you sign and initial that document, before you sign that document, did you read the document? And before you signed it at the jail, did you read the document?
Oh, yes, sir.
And is everything in that document still true and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Nebo, I will find that you are indigent. Based on the finding of indigency, the court cost of $277 will be waived pursuant to Article 45.12, 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And that just simply means that you will not be required to pay the court cost of $277 because the court have found that you are indigent. All right.
Sir.
Now, Mr. Nebo, do you understand the state's offer
Yes, sir.
and the findings that the court made in your case? And do you think that is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Nebo, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement with the findings that the court has made pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Nebo, you're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. And once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff. Now, the next case, please stand over there and you have a blessed day. Tawana White.
White.
This is cause number 23 CCCR 0252. Case of style of state of Texas versus Tawana Michelle White. It's White. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir. Tiajane Michelle White. Tiajane Michelle White.
Tiajane?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss White, would you please raise your right hand? Miss White, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Miss White, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Miss White?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. Miss White, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Ms. White's case?
We do.
Ms. White, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Ms. White, it alleges that you, Tiagene Michelle White, on or about January 12th, 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Ms. White, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Ms. White, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty? Now you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Ms. White, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials TW that are on the line next to boxes check guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes,
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have before me on paper a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Ms. White, before you signed and initialed all these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Ms. Provo, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, she did.
And did you read and understand everything that Ms. Provo went over?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. White, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Stay
State,
over states 1.
any objections?
Okay.
No objection, State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you've advised and counseled Ms. White. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, no.
Ms. White, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided fully effective and competent
Yes,
legal representation?
yes, sir.
Ms. White, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is to 180 days probated over 15 months with a $500 fine, 60 hours community service, and no contact with the complainant, Ms. Miriam Williams, in this case. It's to run concurrent with the next case.
Complaining witness in this case is a Dennis.
Oh, Dennis
Setall or
Oh,
something.
do we do,
We did 52, this is cause number 23 CCCR.
Well, supposed to be 147.
Well, I got one, I have, hold on, hold on, December the 12th? No, it's, oh, okay, I see what happened. Wait. Hold on, wait up. Hold on a minute. 14/11. That's the wrong date. No. Let me get back. I go back. I'll put the other one before that one. This is 14/7/0. I had the other case. Oh, let me make sure that they're the same date, different day. Okay, this is different. Yeah, I had to, let me back up. Okay, now, Miss White, in this case, cause number 24 CCCR 1470. I have before me information that is titled, if, well, if, I have a document that's titled information on my computer. In this document, it alleges that you, Tiagene White, on or about March 8th of 2024. Oh, this thing don't even erase. Oh, there it is. On March 8th, 2024, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to that, and to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, these are the same documents that I showed you earlier that you acknowledge. This is State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. You acknowledge your initials and signatures on this document, and you also acknowledge your signature on trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, and you acknowledge your signature. Oh, let me do that. No, that was done. Now, I have before me this discovery certification in this case. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, again, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that she went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Ms. Provo, you stated that there's no evidence that your client is mentally incompetent to stand trial. Is that correct? And you are satisfied with the services of your attorney, and you are a citizen of the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the court is gonna accept your plea of guilty. The court will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. The court will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. Court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And State, could you repeat the offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer in this case is 180 days probated over 15 months with a $500 fine and 60 hours community service. In this case, there's been no contact with Samira Williams. And this is to run concurrent with the next case.
What's the court cost in Ms. White's case? The 70.
277, both of them.
277. Okay, Ms. White, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277, plus a probation fee of $60 a month, your analysis fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments will be $137 a month. Will you be able to pay the $137 a month? You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You cannot have any contact with a Samira Williams. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 23 CCCR 0252. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. White, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
Ms. White, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Okay, now, Ms. White, we will move on to your next case. Your next case is cause number 23 CCCR 0252. And in this case, Ms. White, I have before me a document that is titled information. Hmm?
Before we move on to this case, I like to make this notation on the fact that the apartment complex that Ms. Williams, Samaria Williams is also a complex that she lives in, also with her sister. That's her resident.
Okay, she just can't have no contact with it.
I just wanted to make sure.
They didn't say nothing about, they didn't give a distance and nothing like, you just can't have no contact with it.
She just wanted to make sure.
Okay, now, Ms. White. The next case, cause number 23 CCCR 0252. I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, Ms. White, it alleged that you, as Tiajane Michelle White, on or about January 12th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault. Ms. White, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. White, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Freely.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir, I am.
Ms. White, I also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. This document was also filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document, Ms. White, it alleged that, well, in this document that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on a line next to the box that check guilty. The initials are TW.
Yes, sir.
You can place your initials on this document. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, you recognize this document.
Yes, sir, I do.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir, it is.
At the top of the document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box is checked, states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box that's checked, well, first, let me go back to the first box. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. You understand that statement?
Yes.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
Is this your signature on the line as title defendant?
Yes, it is.
Ms. White, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, she did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir, she did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge? A state, I have before me states one, state you like to offer states one.
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number one will be admitted. And Ms. Provo, you've advised and counseled Ms. White. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. White, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you in this case. Is there any evidence? Well, are you satisfied with her representation in this case?
Yes, sir, I am.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, she is.
Ms. White, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
As the previous case, this case is 180 days probate over 15 months, a theft and jail or fine, and 60 hours community service. There's to be no contact with the complaining witness in this case, Dennis Setall. And this is direct concurrent with the above case.
Okay, now, Ms. White, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not be required to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case, because you'll be placed on probation for a period of 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to be a fine of $500 plus court costs of $277, probation fee of $60 a month, you're not fee of $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15. Now, Ms. White, the total probation fee per month, well, the total fees per month in this case will be $137. However, because you are already on probation, your probations are running together, you will not be required to pay an additional probation fee in this case, and you will not be required to pay a urinalysis fee. Therefore, your monthly fee in this case is $56 a month. Will you be able to pay this $56 a month?
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay. And also, you'll be required to perform 60 hours of community service. Cannot have any contact, in this case, with Dennis Setall. This case will run concurrent with cause number 24 CCCR 1470. And you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. White, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
Ms. White, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. White, once you finish with this case, you can follow the bailiff. If you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. All right, please stand in front of the court coordinator. Evan Williams, Evan.
You're not gonna touch nothing right now.
Kind of clear right now.
Thanks.
Okay, this is cause numbers 24 CCCR 1670. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Evan Joseph Williams?
Yes,
Mr. Williams, is that your full name?
Evan J, as Evan Joseph Williams.
Yes. That's your name?
And it's Evan J Williams,
Right,
as Evan Joseph Williams.
right.
That's what I got on my wrist, Evan J Williams.
Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
Great,
You doing it great?
doing good.
Okay,
I'm,
Mr.
feeling myself real bad to go to Southeast Texas Food Bank and volunteer. And I feel real good to go to Texas Workforce, and I feel good going to the plasma center.
Okay, I
And I
hear
feel real good going to Spindle Top and Dishman Road, the Social Security building, and the DPS, the Texas ID building. I
Oh.
ready to do something with myself and give me a job at Doga's Rice and Major Drive. They say they're hiring over there, y'all.
that. Okay,
I had lost the applications at the store somewhere I misplaced it. Now I want to go back and get some more applications and fill it in.
mhm,
Now this time I'm gonna fill it in the office. And I'm gonna take two at my mama's house at Southport side. And then we're gonna fill it in together because I gotta write down the address and the zip code and stuff like on the application.
mhm. Mr. Williams, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I'm telling the truth,
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God.
the whole truth of the word of God.
You understand what I just said?
Repeat again.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down.
I said it right here.
Yeah, you said
I'm
yes.
supposed, I don't know what I'm supposed to, I'm supposed to say no.
No, you,
What if I would have said no?
well, if
I
you,
don't really know.
no, listen, just listen to me. If you would have said no, then that would have indicated to me that you didn't understand what I asked you.
What was all of that for, trespass warning and?
No, I'm just asking you, I'm getting ready to ask you some questions. No, I'm actually getting ready to ask you some questions, and I just wanted to know if you're gonna tell the truth. If you're gonna tell the truth to the questions that I'm asking you. You're gonna tell the truth? All right. Now, Mr. Williams. Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. Okay, it's right now, sorry.
All right. Now, Mr. Williams, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney Marvel Provo. Attorney Provo, do you waive a record in Mr. Williams' cases?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Now, Mr. Williams, I have before me in the first case is cause number 24CCCR1670. And in this case, I have a document on my computer right here. This document is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Williams, it alleges that you, Evan Joseph Williams, on or about May 30th of 2024, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Williams, do you understand what you have been charged with?
A store, what they call it, a store trespass warning everywhere around the block in the streets, in Beaumont, Texas. I'm gonna stop doing that, bombing all the stores. I'm gonna stop doing Express Mart. I'm gonna stop doing J&J's Express. I'm gonna stop doing Cash Saver. I'm gonna stop doing Fast Lane. I'm gonna stop doing Speedy Stop. I'm gonna stop doing 7-Eleven. I'm gonna stop doing, but I'm gonna ban it at HEB. I'm gonna ban it at Walmart, and I'm gonna ban it at HEB on Darling Road, and I'm gonna ban it at another store, Market. It's called Smiles by McDonald's on 105, Smiles. And I'm not a bandit at Academy yet. I was supposed to be a bandit at Academy. And then I can still go to McDonald's, y'all.
Okay, let me,
I
my
can still-
question,
I
listen,
mean, I can still go to CVS and Walgreens. y'all.
okay, Mr. Williams, let me ask you this question. This case says that you, you charged with trespassing at Family Wash and Dry on,
It's a walking-
4639 Highland
Right
Avenue.
by South Park Middle School. Oh, yes, that too.
Okay, listen to me.
What about Market Ace?
I'm just asking you one of the case at a time.
I ain't been at Market Ace.
Okay,
In Will T's restaurant. I think
No,
I'm gonna bend it over there too.
he just wanna know about.
okay. Now, let me do this here.
Icebox, I might have been it in, what's that store called?
Just, could you,
It's Fresh Mart by Little Caesars.
okay.
I might have been it over
just
there.
follow the bailiff? Follow her right there. Just follow her. She'll bring you back out.
I'm gonna say nothing else, y'all.
No, she's gonna bring you back out.
I'm gonna say nothing else, so I wanna keep on.
No. Listen what I'm saying. We're gonna call you back. Just follow her.
Again?
The next person is Justine D. Williams.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Justine Williams, I think it's a female.
It's a female.
Now make sure you still hold them.
Excuse me, where these?
Yeah.
Kind of good, then. You go stand right there in front of her.
Yeah. I told her about it.
This one.
Okay. This is cause number 24 CCCR 1320. Case is style of state of Texas versus Justine D. Williams. Miss Williams, is that your full name?
It's,
Miss Williams, would you please raise your right hand? Miss Williams, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Okay, Miss Williams, how are you doing? Do we have an affidavit on her? Miss Williams, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor. Well, actually, it's titled information. This document is on my computer. Miss Williams,
yeah.
well, before we do that, Miss Provo, you represent Miss Williams. You waive a record in Miss Williams' case? Okay. Now, Miss Williams, to the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass, which allegedly occurred on or about April 27 of 2024 while you were in Jefferson County, Texas. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
No contest to the charges, fight for it.
No, that's what no contest means, that you're not fighting or you're not contesting the charge.
Right, no contest, right?
Listen to me. No contest means that you are not fighting or contesting the charges. And that's the reason. Okay, so you're not fighting the charges. That's all right. Now, Miss Williams,
Yeah.
I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
I don't remember no board. Oh, yeah.
I just wrote that on there.
Yesterday.
Okay.
She came to the,
Okay, now on page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials, JW, on the line next to a box to check no contingent, which means no kind. Did you place your initials on this document? And on the 3rd page of the same document, there's a signature above the line inside of defendant. Is this your signature? Okay. The next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? Okay. I have another document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Ms. Williams, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Williams, are you a citizen of the United States? State,
Yeah, for state one.
any
No.
objections? No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Ms. Provo, you've advised and counseled Ms. Williams. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? And Ms. Williams, your attorney, Ms. Provo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation? Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Williams, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find, no, listen to what I said.
Oh.
I said, I'm finding you mentally competent to stand trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, what we have here is like a trial. So you are competent.
Yes, sir.
All right. I will find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
The agreement is the 30 days of credit for 19, Your Honor.
What is our court cost? Okay. Ms. Williams, I have, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 19 days that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $277. Will you be able to pay the $277
I
court?
can work on it. I mean.
No, let me make sure that, okay, okay, well, I think I heard enough. You say you do not have any money.
No.
All right. Now, Ms. Williams, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. This is a document that we have in your file, but nothing signed on this one. Ms. Provo,
Yes, yeah.
apparently when they did it, they said she was unable to stay away for questions. Did you have her to
Answer those questions.
this and this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your attorney is going to go over this document with you? Okay. Okay, now, Ms. Williams, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? Now, is everything in this document, well, did your attorney go over this document with you? Is everything in this document true and correct? Okay, now, Ms. Williams, the court is gonna find that you're indigent, and what that means is you do not have the income to pay the court costs. And so pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the court costs in this case will be waived. That means you won't have to pay it. Okay? Now, Ms. Williams, do you understand the state's offer?
Yeah, 30 days.
No, do you, well. Yeah, 30 days confinement credit for 19. And the court cost of $277 will be waived. Because you have been found indigent by the court, and so it will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, do you think that the state's offer and the court's finding, in this case, finding you indigent and waiving the $277 is fair and just?
Thanks, sir.
And do you accept it? Okay, Ms. Williams, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Williams, you're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 24 CCCR 1904. Case is style State of Texas versus William Miller. Mr. Miller is present with his attorney, Attorney Marver Provo, and Mr. Williams was previously sworn, Mr. Miller was previously sworn in. And Ms. Provo, you waive a record in Mr. Williams' case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, pursuant to Article 46B.004 of the this 46B.004 E of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, the code will be conducting an informal inquiry to determine whether or not there is any evidence to support a finding that the defendant may be incompetent under subsection D, or whether the defendant has made a finding of incompetency under the chapter. Now, Ms. Provo,
Yes, Your Honor.
pursuant to Article 1.24 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, all proceedings and trials shall be public. However, pursuant to the case of Lilly versus State 365, Southwest 3rd 321, the right to public trial is not absolute and may be outweighed by other competing interests such as the disclosure of non-public information to ensure that the defendant receives a fair trial and for security of the court. Now, the court is going to ask some questions that will be, the court is going to inquire, and the questions that the court is going to inquire with will be information that is non-public. And so at this time, to prevent the disclosure of non-public information, Ms. Provo, are you requesting that this portion of the hearing be closed to the public?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the court finds that the party that's seeking to advance the closure of this hearing has advanced an overriding interest that is likely to be prejudiced to her client in that it will disclose non-public information. The request is no broader than necessary to protect the rights of her client. The court has considered all the reasonable alternatives, and the court made these findings, and these findings are adequate for the closure. So at this time, this portion of the